Howdy everyone, I'm here again with a pantry raid. I decided I want to make some dessert and I went into my pantry to see what I had. And well, I had these Snickers unwrapped bites, little pieces of Snicker bars. I had some Swiss Miss cocoa mix, little packets here. And these have marshmallows in them, but I thought, this might be interesting to use in there. I'm going to go ahead and use it. I have some nutmeg, vanilla, baking soda, cinnamon, sugar, flour, and then I've got some butter or baking margarines, a couple of eggs, and then I have these little cupcake papers here. So these are pretty, they're very autumny. So this inspired me to make a sort of like a Rocky Road cupcake, seeing that this has marshmallows in there and well, it's a Snickers. As you can see, these are all my ingredients. And then I'm going to top it off with a cream cheese frosting that I'm going to make with obviously cream cheese and some powdered sugar. Now the cream cheese is has been dug into just a little bit, otherwise it would be in 8 ounces, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to use it for some frosting on top of the cupcakes. And as I go along, I will let you know how much of these ingredients I put in to first create the cake in my cupcake. Alright, to begin with, in a large bowl, I am going to cream half a cup of butter, or that's 1 stick of butter or baker's margarine. I'm using baker's margarine. 2 large eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and half a cup of white sugar. You can use a stevia or Splenda, sugar substitutes if you wish, if you don't want to use real sugar or whole sugar. So you can substitute it with your sugar substitute if you wish. And you can just use the same measurement. I believe they measure the same using stevia or Splenda or using a regular sugar. Alright, I'm going to blend these with my hand mixer. I'm not going to do this on video. The last time I did it, it made a lot of noise. So I'm going to go off cam and I'll be back. Alright, and now for the dry ingredients. In a small bowl, I have 1 3/4 cups of flour. I have the 6 packets of the cocoa powdered mix. Now I measured this poured this into a measuring cup, and it was about a cup. So if you don't use the little packets, you can use just cocoa powder and measure a cup of cocoa powder and pour that in there. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of a nutmeg, which you don't have to put in there. You don't even have to put cinnamon, but I decided that I wanted to add those 2 flavors in here. This is half a teaspoon of baking soda. Now I'm going to mix these all together. Then I'm going to put them in my butter and sugar, vanilla, eggs mix over here. And then I've got my little Snicker bites, which I've opened up the package. This is an 8-ounce packet. Now I wanted to have some of these left over to top my cupcakes with after I've put a frosting on them, and I want to chop them up. So what I decided is that I'm not going to put this in the batter yet. What I'm going to do is I am going to reserve them. So first I'm going to make my batter, pour it into my cupcake papers that I have here, and they should be put in a cupcake pan, but I don't have a cupcake pan, which is strange and odd. I must have loaned it out, or I just need to go buy one. So what I'm going to show you how I'm going to place these in a regular round cake pan. So anyway, once I've got them in there, then I can see how many cupcakes I'm actually making with this batter amount, and then I'll place 1 or 2 in each one, push it in so they'll get baked in there. And the little bits that I have left over, I'm going to chop them up and decorate the top of my cupcakes with. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and mix up my flour, dry ingredients, and then pour them into that, and then I'll show you what the batter looks like. Alright, so here I've got my cupcake papers, and I've arranged them in a round cake pan, and I've managed to fit in 8 of them in there. And I've spooned in the batter, used a spoon and a little spatula to aid into getting this batter into each little paper. This was enough, I think. Maybe I could make another 4. I've got, I think, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I've got 10 in here. And I think I might have enough for 4 more in here. So obviously my batter is either going to make 12 cupcakes or 14 smaller ones. Or if you want to make muffins, you want to make some big ones, maybe 8 muffins. And I'm putting 1 Snicker bite into each of the batter and pushing it down. I've still got a lot, so I may use 2 for each one instead. So here we go. I'm going to put 2 in each one, just for the heck of it. These are going to be small, obviously, because they're not really filled all the way to the top. We don't expect them to rise too much, but we'll find out, because this is a Pantry Raid kind of made up recipe as we go along. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the oven. I've already got it preheated at 380 degrees. You could go a little bit higher on it. The original recipe that I found for a muffin mix was asking for 425, and I mentioned before that I don't like to go higher than 400 degrees in my oven, so I'm going to go with 380. And also because I'm not making muffins, I'm making these little cupcakes, so I think they're going to bake a little bit faster. And the time is 18 to 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in there now, bake them 18 to 20 minutes, and I'll pull them out and I'll show you the rest. Alright, while my cupcakes are baking, I've gone ahead and I've chopped up the rest of the Snicker candy bites into little pieces, and I'm going to sprinkle on top of my frosting. And my frosting is an 8-ounce packet of cream cheese. I decided to use half a cup of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of milk. This is to help get it all creamy. And the milk can be adjusted to a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on how creamy you want your frosting. Now, I'm only doing half a cup of powdered sugar to begin with. I may use more, I may not, and I'll let you know if I do. I'm going to mix this up and adjust and see if I like the flavor. The reason that I'm doing this is because the cupcakes contain sugar, and then the cocoa powder mix that I used contains sugar in it also. So I feel, and then with the Snickers in there, I feel like it's going to be like a really sweet, chocolatey kind of a cupcake. So I decided that I didn't want my frosting to be so sweet either, so I'm only going to add half a cup to my 8 ounces and a tablespoon of milk. So I'm going to mix this up, I'm going to taste it, check the consistency, and then I'll let you know if I had to add any more of any of the, well, not of the cream cheese, but any more of the powdered sugar or the milk. All right, here's my frosting already mixed, and I've already tasted it. I like the smooth consistency of it. It's nice and creamy. I whipped it for about 2 minutes. This is, again, I didn't add any more powdered sugar. I didn't add any more milk. I felt this was perfect. I love the taste of it. It's sweet, but it's not overpoweringly sweet. I can taste the cream cheese, and that's really what I wanted. Now, the only thing I can tell you is maybe add less powdered sugar. Now, if you're going to make, you want your frostings to have your cupcakes to have lots of frosting, then you may have to double up this recipe, but I think this is going to be enough for the little cupcakes that I've made. I don't want to put too much frosting on them. I just want them to look, you know, tasty and pretty. So this is 8 ounces of cream cheese, half a cup of powdered confectionery sugar, and a tablespoon of milk. And to me, this is perfect for what I want. So I think if you want to go ahead and use the measurements that I've used, I think you're going to like it. And I will show you the end result as soon as my cupcakes are out and they have cooled. And here we go. Cupcakes are out of the oven in this round cake pan. Look at how the shapes of them. I think they're kind of fun. They're going to be tasty and fun, so that's all that matters. Of course, use a cupcake tin and you'll have nice, pretty round ones. But you know what? I don't want pretty round ones. I want yummy, yummy round ones. And the taste is the same. So, or actually, the flavor is the same. It doesn't get affected by the shape. You know what? These can be the test ones because they're kind of funky looking. And I'll have another 4 in the oven that I'm about to take out. I needed them to be in there a couple minutes longer because I did put this one in first, and then I found another little small pan to put just 4 of them in. So they just need a little time adjustment that it took me to finally put them in. And this really only took about 15 to 18 minutes. I didn't pay attention to the time, but I do know it's not 20 minutes later. But of course, you will check these. Stick a toothpick in them, and if it comes out clean, they're all baked. And don't poke it where the Snickers is, because obviously that's going to come out with caramel and chocolate melted on it. So I'm doing the little bready, cakey part. That's my cat. That's my cat. Sorry. Okay, I'll be back and I'll show you the rest. Alright, all my cupcakes are now cooled off. I pulled them out of the oven. I've got 14 oddly shaped cupcakes. Look at that one, looks like a football. Look at that. This one decided to take a little bit of its neighbor. Let me taste this while I'm here. Oh my gosh, it was off of that one, by the way. Wow. I can taste the hot cocoa powder. And that was just from the cake mix itself, the batter. Wait till I bite into that Snickers. Now what I'm going to do is my cream cheese frosting that I made, I had it in the refrigerator while I was waiting for these to finish baking and cooling, because I did start making it right after because I wasn't sure how it was going to come out and what I had to adjust. So I put it in the fridge because it has milk and cream cheese and I didn't want to leave it out. And I wasn't sure if I was going to come right back to finishing these cupcakes for you. So I put it in the refrigerator, and if it gets a little bit hard, you can just use a little bit of your mixer, soften it up, but mine didn't because it wasn't there too long. And this cupcake is actually still a little bit warm, but I went ahead and I put the frosting on it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to top these with little bits of Snickers. So isn't that pretty? That looks really yummy. These are great for, speaking of football shapes, these are great for football games for the, this nice fall weather. Well, not really here in Texas. It's still like summer here in Texas, but something cozy if you are feeling a little cool. And I'm going to finish frosting these, and then I'll show you what they look like all at the end. And here we are. My cupcakes are all frosted with my cream cheese frosting, and they've got the little bits of Snickers on top. I decided to grab the one that was shaped like a football, make that one for myself. And wherever the Snickers were in the cupcakes, they kind of melted in, so they made like a little indentation. So some of that frosting kind of oozed in there, and you can see the Snickers in there that melted in there. Here's a little piece. I've already cut this into little taster bites. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious. The combination of the hot cocoa mix with that cream cheese and the caramel and peanuts and the Snickers is so delicious. You can change this recipe, excuse me, any which way you like. I think this would be great to take to a football party, maybe a Halloween party for kids, or maybe your Sunday Super Bowl, even for Thanksgiving. Why not? Christmas, heck, why not? If you're going to a potluck kind of a party, dinner, you can make them prettier. Obviously put them in a cupcake or a muffin tin, or do these foil lined instead of just paper to kind of hold the shape a little bit better. Make them pretty and round. You could also take this frosting that I made, put it into a piping bag with maybe a star shape tip on it, so that when you drizzle it on there out of your bag, you'll get that little cute little ruffly look on there. And then maybe put them one whole piece of Snickers on top, or maybe you want to try this with a different candy instead of a Snickers. What would be a good candy? Gosh, Milky Ways, maybe some M&Ms, peanut M&Ms. Oh, that would be awesome. I love peanuts and chocolate. This is why I did this. And I love cheesecake is my favorite type of cake besides a fully loaded chocolate cake. So this is kind of the best of both for me, because I've got nuts in there. Remember this powdered cocoa mix that I added in there had like little bits of mushrooms in there. So mushrooms, oh my gosh, marshmallows in there. So this gave it a kind of a rocky road flavor, but I can really taste the hot cocoa in the batter, and it is such a nice, delicious feeling, because I remember I added nutmeg and cinnamon, so it has a perfect fall feeling to these. And I would love to have these with maybe some pumpkin spice coffee, or nice just a regular cup of coffee or hot cocoa, or just a nice glass of milk. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you try the recipe just as I have mentioned it in the video. If you do change it up, maybe you want to leave your comment below and let us know what you changed about the recipe. Share maybe your own Snicker candy bar cupcake. I've seen online Snickers and peanut butter cupcakes or muffins. And if you have that recipe you want to share with us, maybe a link to it, that would be awesome. I hope you do like the way they look, even though they're a little bit, you know, looks like a little kid made them. They're a little rustic, but you know what? They're delicious, so it doesn't matter. So anyway, I'm enjoying it, and I hope you enjoy as well. Please like my video, and please favorite my channel. Thank you very much. Enjoy.